That's very true. I mean, ultimately, the hook onto the D.Va there at the very beginning of that fight caused him to get D-Max. Without that defense major, all the problems there.
Yeah, it does look like it's coming back in, but wait, never mind. I was gonna say they're at a disadvantage because of the Hog ultimate. With the freaking D.Va bomb gets the Supercharger and the Mercy. So Hot Sauce's ultimate is picking up another kill again. They've been very good with that so far. But Red Team Asteri Gaming is pulling ahead, especially with the help of Cyclone, their off tank, who's been doing really good work on the pick of Roadhog as well. The Orisa Hog is definitely the take line for them. It's working out very well.
Yeah, an early pick by Blue there didn't seem to help much because the Roadhog ult was keeping them off the point and keeping them from really capitalizing on their kill onto Mercy. Would be interested to see just how well they can do here. Not a lot of ults on either side.
Looks like Making Plays is re-engaging for their final push probably, and they do start trading actually. It's very even. They get the mech, but you know, they get the Zen, but the ultimate's being thrown in, but it still only gets one. But Blue, I mean, Making Plays does flip the point.
Yeah, Bob
but I don't
got
know.
On the point ahead of time, basically flipped it over in the back cap, but unfortunately that means they're kind of getting picked off here.
Yeah, I don't think they'll hold it for very much longer, because they did kind of get it through a back cap, but that doesn't... They did save it for now. They gave themselves maybe another push if they do hold this correctly, but I don't think they're going to hold it for very long, because they just keep getting picked. They're doing a great job of keeping people on the point, keeping bodies on the point, keep it capped. But as I said, like, they're just getting picked off. What? Well, okay, well, D.Va Bomb gets two as well. And Blue Team might... they might actually hold. It's been a crazy fight because they were at a crazy disadvantage. But Funk Shaz actually gets 2 kills on that Lucio as well. So Blue Team are stabilizing, and it's going into 90%. It looks like they might actually take the point. 98 to 99, or 100. I don't know if Asteri Gaming can make it back in time. It looks like they are going to make it back, and Spooks is going to throw in the ultimate again. But the only kill that he's going to get is himself, as Blue seems to be pulling ahead a lot with 4 picks already on to Asteri Gaming. So Making Plays will get the first point.
Yeah, Asteri Gaming had a little trouble cleaning up, and it's all because of Hot Sauce on that Moira. The absolute massive healing throughput that he was putting on there just prevented anybody from dying, and he didn't really have any pressure on him either. So you got to take care of the healers first in cases like Moira. And you know, another fascinating thing there is he got to the point a little late because he died in the previous fight, and that allowed him to just have a massive amount of healing. You know, he wasn't out of juice, or out of his really healing juice from the last point. Also, interesting defensive ults there used too. Bob, example, used his slam, his ultimate on Doomfist there just to stay alive. So good job on their part for just keeping themselves in the game.
Yeah, Moira also got like a decent amount of kills with her ultimate, or his ultimate.
Yeah,
Hot Sauce did very well on the Moira. It's definitely a good pick for them. And both teams are going into the control point. Let's see who pulls ahead this time. Last time it was capped very quickly, but I don't think it'll be that quick again. They're still running the Orisa Hog, but the Orisa gets picked off almost instantly by Bob. But Spooks gets on Funky Shaz. So it's still a trading fight like we've seen so far. Very even. But Blue Team seem to be on the objective more, just like physically bodies, as Asteri Gaming are being forced to play outside of the point. But it doesn't do that much good their first cap if they all die again. Although we did see them pull through last time with a disadvantage. This early in the fight without any ultimates, I don't think they can do it. As Cyclone and Show keep the kills coming. And it looks like they're going to retake the point pretty swiftly.
I'm wondering if Hot Sauce ran out of juice there on his heals in that case. Blue was sitting very low, and I think they just had a little bit of a miscommunication as to where the rest of the team was. With Funk Shaz down, you know, if you hit a trade early on, you don't want to lose your healer early on, because then you'll lose your sustain and you lose the point. Interesting comps on both sides too, for sure. This Orisa Hog, not very good.
And the picks, the DPS picks on the side of Asteri Gaming are working out very well. They have 2 burst stamina, but they don't have anything to counter Afara themselves. But it doesn't look like that Making Plays is going to switch to Afara to capitalize off of this. And yeah, that push that they just did failed again, and Hot Sauce is once again going to be forced to jump off the edge. So far, it's a lot more of a convincing take from Asteri Gaming. Looks
Yeah,
like they
Show.
have, yeah, they're
His
holding it a lot
swap
better.
off the Junkrat there is a very great choice, especially against both May and Doomfist. It's hard to see how they're going to actually push into this. They have a lot of backline here. Bob might have to try to find that Junkrat.
Yeah, and the thing is, Bob and May, Bob and Skywave, their DPS picks of Doomfist and May can't really do anything against the Pharah. So the Pharah's been kind of just tearing them apart by himself. Of course, the team is obviously on the ground and they're just buff. But yeah, Vexos is going to take out the main tank, Juka. But blue team do have the point now. So now red team, Asteri Gaming, are going to have to go into them. It does look like it's coming out in their favor once again, with the Pharah and Cyclone doing very well. Spooks and Cyclone have been getting consistent kills this entire time. Basically, Cyclone's hog has just been a third very large, very healthy DPS.
I'm not sure why they let him jump on the point there to cap it to begin with. I would have definitely liked to have seen Asteri Gaming just kind of hold the point there. They gave up about 20%, probably just gave up a win. I think it would have been over. But, you know, sometimes better positioning wins the fight.
They did that last round as well. They just let making plays basically backpack. But Spooks is going to throw out their ultimate again. And they haven't been that remarkable, but you don't really expect much from a Pharah ult. It's a very dangerous ult to use to get you killed a lot. But yeah, Show is doing work on this Junkrat. Spooks is still doing well, even though the ultimate only got one. But Bob and Blue are actually getting consistent kills on the Mercy and Cyclone. So it doesn't. They are missing their main heals. So I don't know if. Yeah, I'm pretty sure blue team are going to take it at 99. The question is if they can hold it this time, because they've capped a few times. They've gotten to 50%, but they haven't been able to hold.
They're having trouble closing out fights here. They're ending up with the kill advantage, but then respawns are coming in before they can actually clean everything up. I think part of that's just the comp that's on the side of a making plays there. So hopefully making plays holds it here a little bit longer, but ults not looking in their favor.
Yeah, I don't think historically through this match they haven't been able to hold it as much as take it. Their attack is better. It's definitely better than their defense. And I think it's gonna bite them in the end. I think red team will pull ahead because they already got the kill onto Lucio, a little opposite word fight there. And the Show is getting kills onto the enemy DPS as well. And ultimates are being thrown in. And although Spook's ultimate isn't very, doesn't get many kills again, though Show's does actually. And with on the back of Show's tire, I'm pretty sure that they're going to be able to. At this point, making plays just has to stagger onto the point, and I don't think they can win. Yeah, it looks like they are going to try and stagger. Well, once again, they actually do have 4 on the point though, but 4v6 is still a 4v6. No matter how many people they get on, they're probably going to be at a disadvantage because the point is taken, and they have to go in and just throw their ults out in a desperate attempt to stall the point even longer. It is 98 to 99, but I think Asteri Gaming is ultimately gonna come ahead. They did stall for quite some time, but it didn't end up mattering.
Yeah, the fight before that actually determined the match, it was all about ultimates. And on the side of Asteri Gaming, they pretty much were all sitting about 90, 80 energy. One of them had their ult too, I don't remember who. But making plays, they were all kind of in the middle of their ult chart. And so all those ults coming in, Cyclone popping his right at the beginning there, it just prevented anyone from really getting to the point, from anyone from really putting together a play. So kudos to them on some really good ult management. But again, sometimes you just gotta not let it cap over there, so...
That does seem to be Asteri's big problem. They kind of let making plays cap sometimes, which definitely isn't a good thing. But it is 1-to-1, so it's an equal playing field. Any team can win. And Spooks is actually off the Pharah on control side. That makes a lot of sense. And onto the Reaper. So a very good pick on this map. But let's see if it pays off as much as the Pharah did. Because Skywave and Bob are still on Doomfist and May. Oh, the Blue and Bob are doing work, killing both the Zen and the main tank. But the main tank is red. Gaia Master, I guess, is back in the fight. But blue is on the point once again, and red are fighting on the outside. Red seem a little hesitant to go into their team. It makes sense though, because Bob and Skywave are both playing very close up heroes. But they are going to fight on the point now, but Bob is going to get the kill on his Spooks, taking out the enemy DPS himself. And yeah, there's the main tanks battling as well. And I think making plays is going to hold at least a bit longer.
So the initiation on that play by Skywave using his Mei wall just to cut off 2 it really shows the advantage of having the Mei here. I was a little skeptical at first about it, but I don't know, Skywave just seems to be a Mei of a different caliber. I think that's kind of what you need if you want to have a Mei at all, really. So we'll see how Asteri Gaming may be able to get past this Mei wall. They might need maybe some better DPS.
Asteri does throw in the tire, but it gets taken out by Juka. And this seems to be the fight where all the ults are. They're throwing in all their ults. But once again, making plays is coming on top again. Even keeping the Doomfist, the Reinhardt, the D.Va, and Lucio. So they're in very good condition.
Junkrat ult's not quite enough to really take it, and if you look at the ult economy here, making plays is kind of sitting on 4 ults to 3 ults on the other side with Asteri Gaming. I wouldn't be surprised though if they aren't enough. I mean, some of those ults aren't really that effective. I'm not sure how Doomfist's ult or D.Va's ult is really going to work here, so I don't know. It'll be close.
Yeah, the ults are surprisingly even, but there's Valve actually. They're engaging this fight with Valve. They're really committing into this. And the D.Va is gonna get Mercy, so it did turn out being a very valuable ult in the end. But Asteri Gaming does have the Zenyatta ult, which is gonna give them enough healing to cap the point. And now making plays is just gonna have to go back into them. But Juka does get staggered.
D.Va definitely, the D.Va bomb was definitely effective, but I think it was more of a mistake on Escher than a plus on the blue side. When you're in that bout, it can be kind of difficult to find some line of sight, but you gotta use that movement speed to get out of there. Didn't matter though, ended up taking the
They did use a lot of ults to take the point, and now making plays has the ult advantage. But let's see if it actually pays off. Meteor Strike is coming out, and it does get a kill onto Spooks with the help of Mei's Blizzard. So it does look like making plays does win the point back, and they're at 96%. I don't know if Asteri Gaming can come back into this. I think making plays might have just taken this. Yeah, there we go. Making plays takes the first point.
Gotta admit, I was skeptical of the Mei Doomfist at first, but that combo at the end kind of shows the potential power of it in lieu of having a Zarya at all. You know, usually in this meta we're seeing, especially on Control Center too, we're seeing Hanzo and Zarya, and that's the combo. Does this combo counter that? Eh, maybe not, but if we don't see Hanzo, if we don't see that combo with the other team, well, maybe Mei Doomfist is the alternate option.
Yeah, it did not pay off for them in one of the matches because the Pharah, they couldn't really take out the Pharah. But on the other 2 matches, it did work, and it did turn out giving them the points. Because, you know, 2 out of 3, that's definitely a win. So far, you know, making plays is up, and Asteri is down. It turned out that the more controversial, or the more, like, weird comp ended up working in the end. Because, yeah, Asteri Gaming played a bit, you know, what you expect. Like, the healers were the same. The tanks were a bit different, and the DPS were really map dependent. Like Spooks playing the Pharah on the good Pharah map, and playing the Reaper on the good Reaper map.
I expected more games to go like the second game, where they were just overpowering them with a pretty strict counter comp. I mean, I know you don't typically run Pharah in Control Center, but against Mei, Doomfist, I almost feel like you just keep running Pharah. There's very unlikely for her to really do much to you. And the first map, too, especially, you know, I would have liked to have seen a little bit better plays from Pharah there. Basically, you're just got to count on chip damage from going on.
Yeah, I wonder if making plays comp was concocted specifically for Control Center. Because it worked perfectly there. Because the only, well, not the only, but one of the big weaknesses to making plays comp was the Pharah. But you can't really run Pharah on Control Center, or at least not to the full extent. So that's the question, the hypothetical. If they would have run Pharah, Asteri Gaming would have run Pharah, Spooks in particular, on Control Center, would her map disadvantages been overpowered by comp advantages? Either way, it was very good for making plays to know like that it's going to work. I'm not sure they should have run it on all 3 points, but it definitely worked on 2 of them.
So we're looking at escort maps here, and we got some bans coming up. What are you looking to ban now? If you're on making plays side here, are you looking to ban, Junkertown in hopes that you don't end up against that Bastion, or maybe you're hoping to ban Dorado because you don't want that high ground for your Doomfist May? Just thinking about just the last game.
I think definitely you want to ban either Junkertown or Gibraltar. Most likely Junkertown, which is what we see happening, because Junkertown, people don't like that map in general. And if Bob wants to run the Doomfist, which did work out very well, they're not going to want to play on Junkertown. That's Doomfist's worst map. But what Asteri wants to pick, what they'll do if they want to counter Bob and Skywave's DPS, their short-range DPS, is they'll pick Gibraltar. That's my guess. That's my prediction. They'll pick Gibraltar. Because Doom can't really work there, and May can't. Well, May can work on the first point, but still. I do think that Asteri Gaming is going to pick Gibraltar.
Yeah, not a lot of opportunities for Maywalls on Gibraltar for sure. Whereas in Dorado, there are definitely some great choke points you can use there on more of the points. Maybe not in the second point so much. So I think you're right there. And
yeah, they actually did.
Yeah, all right. So Gibraltar then. What would you switch the May to in this case? What's the second option?
Well, on defense, I think making plays still should run the May, at least on the first point. Because while there aren't many places to block off, the first tunnel is a really good place. If they put their May wall in there, they trap the team in there and they can just have their way with them. So I think the May pick does work very well on that first point. But after that, I don't think they're going to want to run the May. I don't know what specifically DPS Skywave can run, but yeah, I'm not sure. I hope he has a lot of variety because it's not going to really work out on this map.
Alright, well, we're taking it in to watch Point to Gibraltar here in map number 2 of our first game here. And we have both teams in the same spots they were before. We've got making plays on the left side on the blue team here, and Asteri Gaming on the right, the red team.
Yeah, and Daya is looking like they're gonna. Well, they're not obviously gonna really play Symmetra. They're just messing with us. I wish somebody would run Symmetra, but I don't think anybody's that brave. It's not a good pick.
I'm not.
It's not. Well, I mean, your poor team. Don't run Symmetra on attack. That's PSA.
Not yet.
But it does.
But hey, pretty soon, I think people might be running Symmetra on attack.
Yeah, you're right. We don't know about the meta. We don't know about what's coming. But Bob is gonna play Bastion, Doomfist and Bastion. That's a hero pool that will be frowned upon in comp. But if they play around it, I think the Bastion can really work here. They
I
are
have it
gonna
on
run
good authority that Bob is a Doomfist main. This is typically his primary hero that he plays. Bastion, yeah, you're right. It doesn't really, coexist with the Doomfist playstyle. Doomfist is more of a combo or, projectile, if you will, hero, whereas Bastion's on that hit scan. But I don't know. I think it's gonna be very interesting to see.
And they are opting to run the May. I don't know if that's because Skywave really only plays May, or if they are gonna block them all in the tunnel. They are running an Orisa, but Orisa Diva, not Orisa Hog, which isn't really the tank synergy you expect. But the support line's what you'd expect to see. Zenyatta Mercy, that's pretty much just the meta. On the side of Asteri Gaming, they're gonna run a Widowmaker and a Genji. So it does look like they are playing dive, but instead of a Tracer, they're going for a Genji. And I love Genji. I love to see Genji plays. I love Genji's ultimate, and I love basically everything about it. Oh, but Bob is going to take out the Mercy first, and Skywave is going to get a Vexos on that Zenyatta. So both the healers on the side of Asteri Gaming are gone. And although Spooks does get a kill onto the Mei, they're gonna have to back out. But Spooks' kill might be a little bit more important than First Glance because their spawns are a lot harder.
I gotta tell you, it is a very scary sight to see a Bastion with a Zenyatta Orb and a Mercy Beam on him. They just tried to jump onto Bob, and, well, Bob's health didn't move at all. 1 point for making plays here.
It definitely is not something I'd want to see. But actually, Bob does get taken down after taking down Daya. But yeah, it looks like both the Mercy Hot Sauce and Bob are down. So it looks like, yeah, Asteri Gaming figured out how to play around their comp and are pushing the payload forward. And Making Plays is going to try and drop down to stop the payload. And Skywave does get the Mercy. So it's actually a pretty even fight at this point. Bob is back already and kills the Genji while the Genji was ulting and the Winston. That is a big kill onto that Genji. That Genji got no value out of their ult. And the fight keeps going, but I don't think Asteri Gaming are going to continue much longer.
Oh wow,
The Cyclone,
kind of got him around the corner there. It's very interesting how this Mei is working out. They're able to hold really far up because Mei can pretty much self-sustain there. And that stagger on 3 members of Asteri Gaming is all thanks to that Mei just sitting in that ice block, getting killed of course, but waiting for a team to come in there afterwards and just, they just destroyed them. Slaughter in that corner.
Wow, yeah, the Mei's tunnel is working out. But Show does get the Zen, but Skywave gets the enemy Zen, so Zens are down. Although the Mercy pick is working well for Making Plays because they're just able to res Funk Chaz. So it looks like now, yeah, Asteri Gaming is gonna have to regroup a bit, perhaps. And I don't know if they switch off dive at this point. Because they're kind of just banging their head into the wall, which is Mei's wall, of course, and trying to get it to work. And I'm not sure if it is going to. Spooks does take out the main tank, Juka. And they do actually have a double sniper DPS line with dive. Everything is dive except the double sniper DPS line.
And what are you gonna do about this? I mean, there's a Widowmaker, sure, but Widow has no angles into this corner, and they can hold the point without even getting a line of sight to Widow. Mei can definitely create some walls here to stop Widow from getting a line of sight. Pretty much like they're playing down a player here. And when they went into that corner, they just got a big Bastion cannon blowing their faces off. It's unbelievable. Great strategy here.
Making Plays is hiding in that little room. Although they're not really hiding because they're the one, of course, that keeps killing Asteri Gaming. But yeah, the Mei tunnel, again, this is like the 3rd time I've said it, but the Mei tunnel with the Bastion is working incredibly well. Because even the Transcendence doesn't keep up Daya. He is melted with the help of the Bastion and the Zenyatta. And Bob gets the Mercy as well. And, oh, but actually, Show is going big, gets 2 kills onto the Diva and the Mei. But I don't think it's enough. I don't know. They're gonna have to get on the payload and they're gonna have to stall, which is exactly what Making Plays want. Making Plays want them to walk into their tunnel and just get melted by Bastion and Mei. And although Show is wait, both supports are gone now. Spooks gets both supports with his dragon, and there goes the Bastion. They did it. Spooks just carried them. He put the team on his back, and he's carrying them through this tunnel. They are still in overtime. What? I take it back. Blue gets 4 with.
Come on, Skywave, gotta get a Mercy down.
I don't have words for what I just saw.
Well, what
Blue
I think
gets
happened
4.
there, I think what happened there is Blue threw his ult down, and all 4 of those players thought, "Oh crap, we can't line of sight it. We got to get on the payload, or else it's gonna be over anyway." And so instead of having one person kind of be the sacrifice, they all became the sacrifice. And then all Skywave had to do is clean up there. I'd also like to point out at the very beginning of that push, what was interesting there is a little bit of overextension there by, I think it might have been Blue that overextended there. And that gave Shogunai the opportunity to get those early picks. And those early picks are why they even had a chance of pushing that thing. But if you look now, this payload does not have far to go. I would not be surprised if this was a 1 minute and done map here on offense.
Yeah, basically Making Plays did what I thought they were gonna do, but they did it even better than I thought they could. The Mei tunnel that was something I kind of predicted. I thought if they are going to run the Mei, they're going to want to play around the tunnel. But the Bastion was a great pick because they had to walk into the tunnel and just get melted. So it was great. It was really good on the side of making plays. That strat was very well executed. And that's one of the reasons Blue's mech got 4, because they have to be in the tunnel. The tunnel is such an enclosed space with not much to hide behind besides the little health pack or the mega health pack and the wall over there with the mini. So there's not many places to hide from a D.Va.
Yeah, and at this point, they're gonna have to like mimic the strategy essentially on defense here, or they're gonna have to come up with a strategy that has that level of potential hold. You know, a lot of strategies are based around holding for a little bit, and then eventually you're gonna give ground to ultimates and what have you. In fact, most of Overwatch is that. But now you're on the back foot here. You have one chance really to defend this. So I don't know if I'd like to go with the Metacom. That's how it's gonna work out.
Yeah, Bastion is the king of first point hold, but they don't want to run him. Although Show, just like last time, Show is doing well. Show is even in loss, Show is just getting many kills and doing very good on that Hanzo. That seems to be his preferred pick, from what I'm seeing. And there we go. Yeah, there's the other DPS, and they're holding him off so far. I don't think that they'll eventually win this because I don't think they can hold long enough. But Show definitely is doing very well, getting those kills. And
3 minutes left. It's just a matter of time at this point. It's a matter of time before ultimates come out for the side of making plays. So, but Show is showing why Mei and Doomfist don't get run too much. Hanzo has he does a wonderful counter to both of them. You take Mei out from really far away and get Doomfist really quick.
Asteri Gaming does have to play a bit far forward because they can't let them get to the end of the tunnel. So they have to like play in a not preferable spot. But the spam from the Junkrat is very good as well because they have to go into an enclosed space. And they are actually coming out ahead again in this fight. But again, I'm pretty sure it's only a matter of time.
Yeah,
but I don't want to completely doubt Asteri because they're doing well. They're playing this as well as they could play this, really.
Yeah, there's definitely a chance for them to hold, especially if they manage to somehow negate that Mei ult when it comes up. It's only 20% away now, and that's really the ultimate that I would be looking out for at this point. Master did an excellent shatter there too, and it comes with
Bob dives straight into their team, but doesn't really get anything, so he has to back out. And the two main tanks are having a hammer battle, but Master falls. I'm not sure if that's on purpose or on accident. But it's a really scattered fight. They're really spread out, both members of the team. But Spooks is gonna get a kill with his tire, but is forced to use his Transcendent. So now they're down their most powerful counter to Mei's ultimate. Now they don't have the Zenyatta ult to cancel it out.
Yeah,
so
that's
I don't
what
think
I've been looking at here. There's going to be a grab coming out, which might be the only counter they have to it. Don't really have the combo yet, but maybe grab will help keep them off the point while the Mei ult kind of dissipates. Oh wow!
Apparently, yeah, Mei accidentally ulted in spawn. So I was wrong about Zenyatta's bad ult usage because it doesn't end up mattering. But grab does not do much. Grab doesn't matter because making plays is still coming out ahead. Basically, it just grouped them up. Like, it didn't kill any of them. And now they're just rolling into one. I don't think maybe a dragon will stall them a bit. Yeah, getting the Lucio, Funky Shaz, or Funk Shaz. But I don't think that at this point, with 1.5 meters to go, that there's anything making plays can do. Blue's ultimate, yeah, again, coming up big twice. And yeah, making plays takes it.
Yeah, you know, I don't know that charging was really the right call when that grab went off, because it only took one player out of the fight, whereas he could have just been slamming away, getting a big ult, or maybe getting a hammer down follow-up there. So
yeah,
I think there's a little bit of miscommunication there on I
definitely think that if he did just swing into the grab, there were enough people in it where he would have gotten his ult and probably taken out those players. So that fight could have been won by if the Reinhardt just did something slightly different. But again, it was almost an inevitability. It's very hard to hold where they can't even get through the tunnel. You gotta hold in front of the tunnel, which isn't optimal. Because basically, making plays defense with the Mei and the Bastion was just so good that Asteri Gaming they couldn't really defend well enough. Maybe if they mirrored comp, but they wouldn't be able to play it to the same level. So I don't know what they could have done there, and making plays takes a point.
So now we're moving on to hybrid, and it's going to be potentially a game changer. This is going to be like match point essentially for making plays. They got one man here, and there's going to be a pick here. So what do you think's going to happen here? I have my bets here. You know, I'm a big fan of Eichenwald personally, but I have my bets that bans are going to be onto Eichenwald because they don't want to see that May there, or Eichenwald will end up being the pick.
Yeah. Well, with the niche DPS of Bastion and Doomfist, and basically, yeah, and May, they have the maps are very important. It really depends on what maps they pick. And Gibraltar, I do think they were right for picking that, but I do think they should have been more wary about the first point tunnel, because that's the one place where May can actually be played. But if you can break through that, then basically, if they broke through that, making plays, I think, would have lost. I don't think they could have, they would have either had to swap the May, or they would have probably, I think, lost, maybe. But I do think that Asteri Gaming is getting a sub in. They're getting Okelikai, which is definitely a fun name to say. Going to be a little difficult.
It's a great name to say. Okelikai.
Okelikai. Okra. Okra is the only food that sweats. That's
Really?
a fun fact. Yeah. I've never had okra, but I know boiled or steamed okra is like supposed to be really good.
You know, I feel like we should be talking about ogres eating okra.
Ogre.
You know? Get the alliteration going there somewhere.
Ogres.
The ogre.
Okelikai the ogre eats okra. Beautiful. That's my new warm-up. Just found it. But they are making plays decides to ban Blizzard World.
Well, that's an interesting one. I'm not sure why you would be too afraid of having your May on Blizzard World. Seems like Point A is a great place for her to hang out. Maybe it's more the later points that makes the May a little more difficult. Looks like we are going to Numbani, though, which does make sense. It's a little bit trickier for May to do a whole lot of work on a lot of the parts of Numbani.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the ban on Blizzard World was probably just preference, because many people don't like Blizzard World. Making Plays is actually going to get a swap in too. They're going to get Pixie Man as a sub, and it's not even a sub onto their DPS, which is what I expected them to do to get more DPS variety.
Yeah,
but apparently that's not what they're going to do.
Actually, so very interesting swap there. Not sure if it's actually going to be a swap for a particular hero or something else. We are going to have teams, once again, on the same side, though, as we go into Numbani here. We had, again, Making Plays on the left and Asteri Gaming on the right. And, if you're just joining us, I'm HX9, and I'm joined here by my esteemed colleague.
Esteemed. Yeah, I'm Sartre. It's a fun name to say. But actually, I'm pretty sure that they're bringing Okelikai in to run triple support. I think that's what Okelikai is... basically why that sub is coming through. And Brigitta can work well against May and Doom, but actually Making Plays is going to run a Bastion instead of a Doom. Bob so far has played Doomfist and Bastion only. So they have very niche DPS, but it's been working for them, so...
It's going to be tricky to keep this Bastion up. Even if he's in the top there are plenty of routes that they can kind of take around the point. And the team melee here, Reinhardt, Brigitta, jumping onto your Bastion, you're not going to have a whole lot of time to keep him up. And, you got both Lucio, the speed, you got D.Va, the defense matrix, you've got the bubbles from Zarya. Everything is kind of built around destroying a May, Bastion, or even Doofus combo. So I would expect a very quick take here if, and only if, they can kind of get around to that Bastion quickly. If they take too much time, if they spend their time just kind of hanging out on point and Bastion's up there just free shooting on them, it's going to be over very quickly for them.
Yeah, and another strange pick. Asteri Gaming are gonna run Moira over a Mercy, which isn't something super common because you expect to have that Mercy, especially on Numbani. But
That's a long run to that point.
yeah, it's definitely a strange pick, but let's see if it works out. The Bastion and the Orisa are going to be set up on the high ground with the Mercy damage boosting and healing from behind the thing. And Funk Shaz is going to be shooting down as well from there. And the Mei and the D.Va are on the other side, actually. The D.Va's going to drop down because Asteri Gaming are going to take that low ground. And they're actually going to go around, swoop all the way around to the high ground. Oh!
What?
Go on that Zarya, it was just going to fall off.
Well, that's the end of that push.
Yeah, it was a great plan, but because they forced the Bastion to reposition, but it doesn't matter now. Bob's just gonna tear them apart. They're missing one of their tanks. I think it would have worked, maybe, if the Zarya hadn't fallen, but it definitely can't now. Vexus does get the mech, which is probably the best thing you could get, because then they can't just walk back from spawn because they gotta shoot and wait for their mech back.
Look at the clock here, too. We're at 2 minutes 40 seconds. That's a minute 20 on the clock for pretty much a Moira ult and maybe a Brigitte. I don't know. If Show went off the edge there and I was on the side of Asteri Gaming, I would not have gone in there. That's basically just feeding some ultimates there. Now Bob's got his ultimate, and Pixie Man, he's got his. Skyway's very close too.
It looks like,
I don't know.
It looks like they're gonna do the same thing with their triple tank, triple support. Oh, wait, never mind. I spoke too soon. They're splitting their top in half. Both off tanks and Brigadier are going to go on the point, and the rest are going to go on the high ground. But of course, now, well, actually, the Moira gets 2 kills onto the entire backline. Gets both the healers. So I do think they are going to take this. I do think Asteri Gaming are going to take the point. But Bob pops his ultimate, and he gets 2 onto both off tanks. And the off healer is killed by Blue's self-destruct. Moira's balls are coming in big though, getting both the DPS. But Blue kills the Brigitte and Funky Shaz, or Funk Shaz, gets the run. And
Yeah,
I do
Moira's
think
orb's not enough. Moira getting 4 of the finishing blows there that fight, which was absolutely incredible. Getting both supports at the beginning. But at the end of the day, the zoning ults from Skywave and Bob were just way too much. And I'm not sure what these ultimates coming out
what
here
did
are.
Funky Shaz just do? Why did he ult there? I think he panicked. I think he got low, he panicked. Oh, but they're actually making plays to rotate. They are gonna get on the point, but I don't think it's gonna work because the Bastion and the Orisa are playing very well together, and they're just gonna take them off the point anyway. And now we're going into 60 seconds. I don't know what Asteri Gaming can do.
That supercharger buffed up damage, because I think it might have been over 1,000 in one supercharger. That was absolutely insane how quickly they melted people as they were even just walking to the point. They would have had a great position too if they made it to the point. They would have been able to wait for that Bastion to kind of get in line of sight, but yeah, that's just no way to get there. Ultimates though favoring Asteri Gaming, so I'd expect them to have a pretty good push here.
They should have a good push unless they don't handle the Orisa and the Bastion properly. Otherwise, they'll just get melted again. But there goes Pixie Man on the Mercy. But it looks like Making Plays is actually coming ahead again on the kills. And that D.Va self-destruct doesn't get anything. But actually, it's a pretty even fight. And there's the grab. Is there enough follow-up? I don't think they can follow up because the Maze Blizzard is taking them out. So I don't. Well, actually, Asteri Gaming are on the point. But there's a res onto Bob. What can Bob do? Can Bob carry? No, turns out no. They get hammered down, they get earth shattered, and it looks like Asteri Gaming gets the point. In overtime, though. So they will not have very much time.
That definitely was a... I don't know, this Axavos guy, Avexo, Avexus guy is absolutely, like, cleaning up here.
I guess that's why they're not running the Mercy, because Avexos is just such a good Moira. They are gonna have all that armor now. Making Place isn't gonna have that advantage of just a lot of health that Brigitte and provide. So yeah, they're gonna let it get past that choke point and go into this one because that's probably the place you want to defend from. But let's see what they can do. They are sticking on the Bastion though, and the Mei. They haven't swapped off Mei the entire time. The Mei is gonna go forward because, as you said, she has a lot of self-sustain and can survive way more. And wow, Asteri Gaming are gonna rotate around, probably try and go behind them actually. But Bastion and Orisa are set up in a way where it doesn't matter if they came forward or backwards because they're in such a corner. There's the Transcendence coming out from Funkchaz, and it does seem to be working for them. The Maze Blizzard came out already, this time not in spawn, and it's working very well. Blue gets a few kills, and it looks like they're gonna hold.
Pretty interesting positioning there with the Bastion, as you said. The Mei wall, though, really the kicker there, as it cut the team in half once again. At this point, you know, I gotta say, there's no real easy way to engage onto this setup. And look at their ults too. 4 ultimates up. Now switching on to the Pharah. Might be a little bit of a late switch there.
Yeah, and Pixie Man did swap off to the Moira and got Coalescence already. But, and making plays moved even further forward. So I wonder if this is going to work out for them as well as their other defense. Because last time they backed up all the way over there, but now they're slowly pushing forward, which they have the luxury to do because they can just set up with Bastion. Oh, but they are going to run back. It doesn't look like their positioning worked out very well for them. They're going to move further back and just give Asteri Gaming a bit of space. But of course, they only have 25 seconds. So what can they do in this 25 seconds to kill Bastion and the Mei? I don't know. They do get a big hammer. Oh, and Sho gets a double kill. Well, not a double kill, but a kill onto the supercharger, which is a very big thing. Meaning they will not have the super damage that they had last fight. That really helped. And Avexos is going to get the mech. And of course, Okelikai is going to finish up on that baby diva. Avexos gets another orb kill. Avexos is just going big in this fight. And pushing it into that point in overtime once again.
It all started with a hammer down from Damester. The interesting thing there, of course, is Orisa, you know, once her shield's down, she can't really move it. So there wasn't really a lot of opportunity there. That's when you gotta kind of save your fortify, so you can kind of block the hammer down with your big Orisa body. Didn't happen that time though. Easy start there. Didn't give Bob any chance to really pop his ult or do anything. Easy take there for him.
Yeah, Asteri Gaming seems to do really good when push comes to shove. But it doesn't. I was gonna say that Mei's ult is coming in, but it only gets the baby D. Ults are being thrown in like left and right, but it's coming out Asteri Gaming's side. They are pushing it even further. Pixie Man's gonna actually stall and get staggered, and his team are gonna have to go in without him. They don't have their main healer, but they do have Bob's tank. So can Bob kill all of Asteri Gaming basically? Apparently not. Gets Shogun, but Shogun gets 2 on both DPS. And there's the Transcendence on Funkchaz to stall, which it can't really do anything against the Diva self-destruct, but of course that's on his side as well. But it actually, yeah, they're coming out ahead. That Transcendence gave them enough healing where they could just shoot Asteri Gaming and win.
Also
Win this.
Great block on the hammer down by Juke. Next was able to stop Damas's ult from going through the payload, which is a little bit tricky, of course. But ultimately, I think they kind of found they found themselves in a position where they're constantly getting pushed back, and they really got a good regroup there. What's interesting is at that final push, they started out with only 4 people on the side of Asteri Gaming pushing, and they were waiting for 2 to kind of regroup there. So Pixie Man, he kind of sacrificed himself so they could regroup as 5 against the 4 that were on there. And even though they kind of regrouped as 6 eventually on the side of Asteri Gaming, making plays, 5 people got up to 6 real quickly. Only needed 1 pick there with a little bit of a sacrifice from Bob, and then they were just able to overcome.
Yeah, that actually was really good play from Pixie Man. I didn't see that at the time, but definitely how close the spawn is worked out very well for them. So very good stall, and stagger turned out not to be true, but you know, it was very good for making plays. And once Bob switched off of the Bastion and onto the Doomfist, it started going very well. Bob, I think, wants to play the Doomfist, and second choice is probably Bastion, but definitely I think he excels in Doomfist. and they're still gonna run the Mei, but why not? It's been working out so far. Asteri Gaming is gonna run Torbjorn, actually. Not that common to see, but it is Numbani, so not that uncommon on this defense. So yeah, Torbjorn and Junkrat for some burst damage. Spam down at them. Their support line, they have two main healers actually, the Moira and the Mercy. That's a lot of healing. And the off tank is Cyclone is on the D.Va and the Orisa. No Orisa Hog synergy this time.
I think you got to be aiming at this point for a Torbjorn play. When you're looking at Torbjorn here, setups are all very similar to this, where you're kind of hitting in the top corner here. Torbjorn might be pretty decent against the Doomfist. It can kind of chip away at him as he jumps in, and it's kind of hard for him to take it out. Though against other folks, they don't really have much shield break, and Mei can do just that.
Making plays are going to go through the low ground onto the point, and all of Asteri Gaming is going to drop down to try and stop them, except Asteri Gaming shake. But it looks like Bob already has 2 kills in this fight, and but he gets taken down himself. So I do think Making plays is, well, I take back my words. Asteri Gaming seems like they're pulling ahead now with the Torbjorn res. Although the turret does get taken out and Torbjorn has a long road back onto that high ground, I don't think he's going to want to really set up there again in this fight anymore. He does put his level 1 turret just right down so that he can have a little supply a little bit damage while he Molten Cores. Now, with the Torb's ultimate, Molten Core, they're able to wipe Making plays off the point. So I do think that's what they wanted to do, was build that Torb ult and get them up. And that's exactly what they did. Making plays, attack failed.
Which is all about that early positioning. I think they got kind of caught off guard that they ran straight, that Making plays ran straight down the point and got on the point, which surprised me a little bit. It's kind of something I would expect. That Mei wall kind of opened them up for that one tick. I would say one Mei wall, even tick there. Gotta find a way to eat that Mei ult though here with that D.Va defense matrix. Otherwise, I think it's going to be a pretty short cap here.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work out so well for Asteri Gaming this time, because now they know that they have a Torbjorn. Torbjorn is a pretty easily countered pick. But Okelikai is going to get a tired kill and a demon. So now they are at a disadvantage with the Rhyme being taken up as well. And there goes the Mei. Yeah, I think that's a very, very quick ult. Blue is going to jump off the edge.
More of an economy push there for Making plays, trying to get that Mei ult ready to go. I think we're going to see that turret go down very quickly from a Pixie Man ult in the next push. Turret's one pretty much biggest weakness right now in the current game is definitely Moira ults, which can power through even Torb repairing it. Usually it kills Torb on the way. So let's see those ultimates come out here.
Yeah, Making play almost has 4, while Asteri only had 2. And they just threw in both of them. But of course, the D.Va Self-Destruct isn't a very big ultimate, not a very high impact. But Mei's Freeze is. And it is going to get Cyclone. But they do have the Supercharger to hopefully make up the damage loss in Freeze. But the Tire gets Funk Shaz as well. And I think Asteri, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to hold. I think. Oh, Bob's actually on Pharah now. Not on Bastion or Doomfist. Third DPS coming out.
You know, the cap happened there very quickly. The Mei wall went up once again from Skywave on the turret, and a tick just was picked up right away. Then all they had to do was zone him out with ult. They didn't even actually have to kill anybody in that push. Skywave's Mei ult just basically said, hey, you can't even get on the point. So they capped it halfway through. I'm not so sure I agree with all those ults that Asteri Gaming used after that.
Yeah, and Bob does switch off the Pharah back onto the Doomfist. But Shiro does get a kill onto the baby D.Va. I think that Making plays is going to back off for now. Just regroup. They still have a decent amount of time, way more than Asteri Gaming had. And Making plays is probably going to re-engage. They're throwing in the D.Va Self-Destruct, which has, actually gets the Mercy. So now they're down their main healer. And Making plays is probably going to capitalize off this very well. Getting the Rhine as well. Cyclone Cyclone does get a kill, but I don't think it's enough. Definitely not enough to stop making plays Rampage, as they just keep pushing forward.
A Rampage indeed, and it all opened up with Blue's ult hitting Mercy. Asher having a lot of trouble on Mercy here, getting away from these blue D.Va bombs. I think that's 4 now that have actually killed him. And, you know, it just comes down to positioning, right? Gotta find a place where you can get away from those D.Va bombs. That Mei ult's coming up again, too. I don't know. This Mei seems to be unstoppable at the moment.
The Mei ult has basically been a big help, like every single time it was thrown out. Except the one time it was thrown in spawn, but besides that, it's been a very big ultimate. Oh, Kalakai does have really good tires as well, getting Pixie Man, but I don't think it's that bad for making plays. They are gonna have to back out just for a bit. Their spawn's right there, and they're just gonna regroup and go in strong again. That's what I'm predicting. Bob gets a kill already on the Shogun, but Shogun's poison mine is actually gonna get Bob. So a trade on both DPS there. But Okelakai is gonna get Funk Shaz, and Cyclone is gonna take down Juka. So I think making plays is gonna back out again. Not as convincing as a push as they had before, but they are building a lot of ultimate. They have
another economy push there for sure, and they are gonna come out with the ult advantage here as they push in. That Zenyatta ult's getting awfully close, and that might be the answer here that they need, especially when that combo comes out. But Skywave Bob, I believe, will actually be able to push through any of that Transcendence damage. So if they freeze enough people here, we might be looking at a double or triple kill here for Bob.
Yeah, I think the best play on the side of SB Gaming would be saving that Zenyatta ult for the Mei freeze. It can't really do much burst damage, like Blue's self-destruct or Bob's ult, but I think it's the best chance they have to at least sustain a little bit in that Mei freeze. Okay, he's gonna get taken down again though, so this is a really good hold so far from Asteri.
Kind of a blunder there, actually. Ended up losing, losing a lot of time on that push. Cyclone only really has to go out there.
Yeah, and now making plays has all 6 of their ultimates. Well, Asteri Gaming only has 2, and isn't very close to the other. Although Show does have sights on them. And there's the Mei ult. It does get, oh, yep, there's the burst damage. It can't really trans through that anyway, but he opts not to trans through it, as he's taken out just by the Mei Wizard's raw damage and stuff. And they're getting dangerously close to this point. And if they do get this point, they take another point. Well, of course, if they get this point, they get another point. But yeah, I don't think Asteri Gaming can't even stall. Making plays gets another.
Yeah, a lot of ultimates there sitting on the side of Asteri Gaming. Definitely would have helped them out there with cleaning up some of those other players. They had a great defense in those last 2 pushes while they were building the 6 ults on the other side. Gave them a lot of ult opportunities there. The problem is you got to use those ults you build, and one good ult can counter a couple of those ults there. So I think a little bit of a missed opportunity on the side of Asteri Gaming. But I gotta say, this Mei is just unbelievable. I mean, I don't know how I would stop it at this point.
Yeah, definitely. The Mei wasn't swapped the entire time, but it didn't need to be. The Mei worked out well. They played around the Mei so well that a suboptimal pick, you know, not very meta, not double sniper or anything, but the suboptimal pick wasn't really suboptimal because of how the team played around it. So it was very good. It was very good for making plays.
All right, well, that's going to be it for this series. Once again, on the Overtime Champions, I am HX9. You can follow me on Twitter, HXZ9, Twitch, HXZ9. Also, be sure to follow this stream. And I'm signing off here with Sartre. Sartre, finish us off here.
Yeah, I'm Sartre. I also have a Twitter at SartraOW, if you want to send me a follow. But yeah, this was a very good game, 3-0, but still a very interesting one. Came very close at some points, but the Mei was too strong. So yeah, this has been Overtime Champions, and yeah, a very good game.